Okay, let's see if that's any better. I went ahead and restarted everything. Hopefully somebody's still around. Any chance anyone can hear us now? Says we're live. Maybe. No. Twitch seems to be angry at me.
All right, I'm going to put some headphones on and load up the stream and see what it sounds like to me.
All right, cool. Oh, yeah. Hey, we got a good. Yay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When in doubt, reboot. Works.
Exactly.
60% of the time, works every time.
Exactly. So sorry about that, y'all. That was frustrating to say the least. And I guess my little joke at the beginning didn't really work, trying to figure out this Vim Adventures, but maybe at the end of the stream we can come back to it. I don't want to waste other people's time, so I thought it was just kind of fun way to start, but whatever. Okay, so let's just start with introductions. Who am I talking to? No, you're eating. Okay, hi. I'm JJ Asgar. I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. We stream every Thursday and stream on every Friday. And we're going to be usually playing around Kubernetes and things like that. And I have a buddy here.
Hi, my name's Paul Tchaikovsky. I'm a developer advocate at VMware. And I apologize, I'm eating right now because I just got off a webinar with our friends at Contrast Security. And so I'm catching up on my blood sugar levels. I'm eating salt and vinegar chips, by the way, which are the second best torture device behind toothpaste and orange juice.
Nice.
Right? Because good chips, good potato chips will like cut your mouth up a little bit with how crispy they are.
Mm-hmm.
But then the salt and the vinegar gets into those cuts and like beats your mouth up a little bit. So it's a little bit of torture and a little bit of delicious food in one bundle.
Yep. Believe it or not, I don't actually like sour cream in the real world, but for some reason I like sour cream and onion chips. I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. Yep.
Well, I love barbecue in the real world, but I hate barbecue flavored chips. So, we all have our things.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. That is very true. So yes, today we are going to be playing with something called Tekton. If you don't know, Tekton is the Kubernetes native CI/CD, and you will hear me call it CDCI, just because, in my mind, it got stuck as that at some point, and I just can't seem to break that habit. But I do try to say CI/CD, but I will slip up. The beauty of Tekton is it all runs in Kubernetes. It all uses Kubernetes primitives, and there are multiple ways of slurping in parts of the Tekton project. If you use Jenkins, for instance, there are portions that you can use Tekton to do certain bits of work for you. There are completely only Tekton primitives you can do. And then there's also offerings that completely obfuscate away Tekton that you don't even know that you're using Tekton underneath it. CZ and I were talking about this, and I think on the stream what we're going to do is use completely vanilla Tekton with all the major portions of it, just to kind of see it working on the Kubernetes application, or the Kubernetes instance that we have running, to actually see if something happens. I have a specific goal of getting a build pipeline that I have on a Jenkins box, which is actually behind me, which is really small, but you can kind of see it's underneath that white box right there.
Wait, is that where the cloud is?
It is. It's actually literally that's the internet right there.
Wow.
Little
it's smaller than I expected.
Well, we're gonna make a joke about the IT crowd here.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly where I was going. I'm glad you're on the same page.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's that's one of the best episodes too. It really,
Absolutely.
really, truly is. Um, the Yeah, so I have a build pipeline there using Jenkins, and it builds a basically container, and then pushes it and makes sure that it builds, no errors come out, and runs the container, and then looks for some output, and then that's it. Really, like I just have it run it once a day to make sure that there's no major changes in the application, or for the underneath dependencies. With a lot of the open source work I do. Uh, I basically build the open source project like just as a demoware or whatever, and then I just let it go, and I'm just like, I don't care about this anymore. Well, recently I've had people come back to me and be like, JJ, this was great, but it doesn't work. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, it's because the version of X, Y, and Z changed underneath me, and I had no way of knowing without actually running it. So I use CI or this Jenkins to constantly run it. So when I do get an error, it'll email me so I can actually have some, knowledge of why it's broken. So when somebody comes back to it, it doesn't fix. Long story short, CI is very important. It is continuous integration. Is that a good kind of TLDR, Paul, with all this stuff going on?
Sure. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So you're not building based off a webhook. You've just got like a cron job kind of ask. Okay.
That's actually exactly what I have. I will bring it up right now. And Jenkins. So the joke is that everyone always uses Jenkins at some point in their career. That's why I chose it, because I've just used it so many times that it was what I thought about using. So basically, any of these projects run on a daily basis, as you can see, and obviously no failures here. But if we just want to take just the simple example right here, oops, and we look at the actual build, it just pulls down the SHA, pulls down the repository, runs it on a daily schedule. In case there's a pull request that comes in, it'll build the pull request. And then it's just a real simple, like Docker build, run it. Does it actually show up how I want it to? Wait for 5 seconds, kill the container, delete the image, right? Like if we can make this happen on Tekton, I feel like, first of all, it'll give us enough knowledge around what's going on. And then second, it's bite size enough, because we have to touch GitHub, we have to touch some bash scripting, we got to also build a container. And if we really wanted to be sassy, we could probably push this out to Quay or Harbor or whatever we decide to use to actually show that it can deploy the container so we can pull it back down.
Is that the official pronunciation, Quay?
So I was on a stream with some Red Hatters. Yeah, thanks. I was last week, and we did mention it, and they said Quay. So okay. It's the best I got. It's the best I got.
I mean, because I would pronounce it key, but I don't know if that's just a pronunciation difference between how us colonials speak versus how you Americans speak. But for instance, if you go to Sydney, there's right where the Harbour House is, it's the Quay, which is spelt the same as Quay.
Oh wow!
And then there's actually a restaurant right there called Quay, again spelt the way you're pronouncing as Quay.
Oh wow!
That's why I was just curious if Quay was the official pronunciation or what was going on there.
Well, so with the theme of nautical stuff, that makes a lot more sense. But according to Sebastian Blank 78, I guess Quay is how they pronounce it to Red Hat. So we're all wrong. It's good stuff. Cool. Okay, so on the stream last Friday, I tried to get this working on OpenShift, Tekton on OpenShift, and we made a mistake. And I'm going to just be completely honest. We did not start with the concepts. We just kind of jumped in, tried to install what we needed to get up and going. So I thought we should take a step back, talk about the different concepts inside of Tekton, so we have a common vernacular. So when we start hacking away at YAML, things kind of come back to we all know what we're talking about. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that's a great idea. And looking at actually that Tekton page you just had up.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, because I think one of our key terms is on that page, right? You look at that example YAML and it says tasks, right?
Is it called Kubernetes?
Right, you see it's got tasks.
Yes.
And then it has a task ref. So I guess task is like one of the fundamental units
Okay.
of Tekton, which I guess would make sense, because if you have to run something, that thing is probably a task.
Mm-hmm.
So I would guess, and actually based on that, we need to build a task that will build your container. And
Okay.
then we need to wrap that into a list of tasks. Oh, and I see in this, I think we can extract a lot of value out of this little screenshot.
It turns out it's actually a little video.
Yeah, it's a
minute.
video.
So yeah,
So
you want to hit.
don't play it. I just want to
Okay.
look at this. So
Okay.
the kubectl apply -f pipeline, right? So that tells me this file above is a pipeline. And there's probably more information. It's just showing the task section, but obviously it's a Kubernetes CRD, right? So there'll be an API version, a kind, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So this tells me that you have pipelines, and those pipelines reference a series of tasks that run probably in a strict order,
Mm-hmm.
unless there's an option to do it in simultaneously. So, and that to me is actually the key fundamentals you need for your Jenkins replacement, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need 3 or 4 tasks to build your image, test your image, push that image to Quay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 3 tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll need a pipeline to actually tie them together.
Okay.
So that's a good start, and that's cool that we can kind of glean that from just that very first page.
3 tasks. 3 tasks. 1 to build build the container. 1 to test the container, and then push the container. Now, what about pulling in from GitHub? Is that considered a task? Like, check out the code. How do I get the code on there?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
Okay.
I would think it probably is, but maybe Tekton already has a way to, like, that sounds like a primitive that maybe Tekton, I don't know, I'm just guessing,
Okay.
maybe Tekton would do.
Okay.
So I guess that is a definite possibility. But
Okay.
I reckon if we can get Tekton installed, and we can do that, I guess those first 2 tasks now, that check out the code and build the container, I think that'll be a pretty good step. And anything we do beyond that is
gravy.
Like icing, gravy.
Yep. By the way, I don't really like gravy. Did you know that? Like, in general.
I know that now. In fact, I think I did know that. You have a thing about like goopy things.
Well, just condiments in general.
Yeah, you're not a condiment guy.
No, like, I don't like hiding the flavor of the food. Like, that's what condiments were designed for, is to, because people had shitty food, so they put ketchup all over it, and because it wasn't good. But now we live in a society where we can get really good food. We should have the flavors of the food come out. Though I will eat hot sauce.
I was going to say, hot sauce is a condiment, and you do make your own hot sauce. So
that is true.
Not all condiments. Well, I bet you if you made your own, like, good quality ketchup, which sort of harkens back to almost like a chutney, I reckon you would be like, oh, this ketchup stuff's pretty good.
And I could probably cut down the sugar on it too, right? Because isn't a lot of
That-
ketchup just sugar?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get like some really fresh, ultra ripe, like cherry tomatoes or something, sorry, tomatoes,
Tomatoes.
you can probably make some pretty sweet ketchup without needing a ton of sugar. Obviously,
Yeah.
the tomatoes have sugar in them, so at least you're not adding extra.
It's true. And tomatoes a fruit. Did you know that?
Well,
It's true. Tomato is a fruit. Come on.
there's
Give this
a
one to give this one to me. Give this one to me.
fine. You can have this.
So, to Sebastian's point in the chat, he suggested that we go ahead and deploy it as a container to using kubectl.
Look, if we can get that. So I was thinking that would be part of the test the container.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
We have to run it. We have to run the container to test it.
That's a good point.
So maybe that's there. But again, I really think if we can get through those first two tasks, we're in. So why don't you pseudocode this up? Because what you've just done is a pipeline, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So why don't you turn this into like literally change total tasks to be pipeline, put a colon in there.
Really? Okay.
And we're basically pseudocoding this up, right?
Okay.
Because now
hang on. Let me copy this real quick because this is what I export out. I don't want to actually put this in the docs. Right. And then we can go over here.
No, I'm not talking about actually turning this into the code. I'm just saying from a docs perspective.
Oh.
Let's make our doc look like what we're going to end up with.
Okay. Pipeline. Okay. Like that?
Yeah. Something that'll do. Right. And I feel like we've kind of just made our first step into figuring out what we need to do because we now have defined in pseudocode the fact that we need a pipeline that runs a bunch of tasks.
Yep. And then we can call this task 1.
No, we don't need to do that, dude. It's already a list.
No, I guess it's true. Well, this is a sublist, though. Would that be like a task 3A? Pseudo. Okay. Works for me. Awesome.
All right. Cool.
So I was sorry. I was originally just going to be candid here. Paul said he was going to be a little late today, so I started poking around a ways to try to play with Tekton before he was going to show up, and I was actually going to use this Katacoda. If you go to tekton.dev/try, which I'll throw into the chat real quick, tekton.dev/try. You can actually use Katacoda to play around with it, which I thought was kind of cool. They even open source the code here to be able to do it. I will admit the GitHub repo is a tad bit sparse in general, which is kind of weird. And I will say that I think the whole thing is literally just these 4 commands. 4 commands?
Yeah.
4 commands, which is basically apply, port forward, and congratulations, you're done. But I thought that was kind of neat. So maybe if you're watching this later or are watching it live and want to kind of play around with it yourself without needing a Kubernetes cluster, this is a good way to kind of play around, do that.
Yeah,
Does this work with Doc or Kind? Do we know? Have you ever tried it with Kind?
I would assume it does.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's go to
concepts.
Yeah, let's go to concepts. So we have overview, 4 components, pipelines. So basic building blocks, tasks, and pipelines. We kind of figured that out. Triggers. So I guess that's like a webhook or something so that you can be told when code is pushed to GitHub, or it could be like a time-based trigger, like a cron tab or something. CLI, well, obviously you need to actually type some things to make some things happen. Well, actually, that's not true.
No.
So I guess the CLI is probably a wrapper around the CRDs from a client perspective. Because you could do this in kubectl, right? And so I bet the
Oh,
CLI is putting a lot of the intelligence of creating like a Kubernetes resource, calling those CRDs.
so
I
I
bet you it'll
actually
be
have,
a way to like view pipelines that are running and stuff like that.
yeah, that's what it looks like it is.
Oh yeah, this is cool. So we'll probably be able to do like a task create blah and like get like a skeleton task created or something. So let's go back to the website.
I don't know why I can't scroll up. That was weird. Um, yeah, I just wanted to kind of show this. Yeah, manage cluster tasks, cluster trigger bindings, manage pipelines. Yep, cool.
Cool.
Okay, go back to the concepts.
What else have we got going on? And then dashboard, obviously, for those who need to look at things, see pretty graphics, we can see a dashboard. And actually, that might be useful to see what's happening as we go. So I feel like, oh, here we
There's
go.
a catalog.
Steps, tasks, and pipelines.
Mhm.
Step is an operation in a CI/CD workflow, such as running some unit tests for a Python or compilation of Java program. Tekton performs each step with a container image you provide. And then a task is a collection of steps. Okay. So I guess steps I'm thinking of are like scripts that a task would run to fulfill the larger task. And so a step, go ahead.
This would be this build, execute. This would be a task. No, these are steps. These are two different steps. This execute shell and this build.
I reckon
would be,
so.
Yeah, would be the task.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then so a task is a pipeline. Is a words. A task is a superset of steps, and a pipeline is a superset of tasks.
Yes.
And then I would imagine then a trigger calls a pipeline, and that's what actually makes it run.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, input and output resources. So tasks and pipelines may have its own inputs and outputs. Okay, so if you want to be able to pass basically variables in and out of tasks and pipelines, it looks like you use input and output resources. Yeah, so there's our example right there. Our input is a Git repo, and it goes through a pipeline, and out comes an image. So that is literally exactly what we're trying to do, that graphic, right?
So Babe Cafe just said a key concept is a step equals a container, a task equals a pod. So when you're building a Docker container, in this case that we want to do here, we would have to have a container with Docker inside of it to build the container for us. So we're doing some Docker and Docker shit here, right?
That is quite possible, but there are other ways to do things. So there's the Canico project from Google that lets you build Docker images without Docker. Podman, I think, also lets you build images without Docker. So we won't 100% definitely have to build. Oh, there's also the cloud native build packs, which are fun to play around with. All of which, sorry, none of which actually require you to run Docker inside Docker. So we're probably okay.
Okay. Or we can go down the rabbit hole that all the cool kids are talking about nowadays, which is Builda. I've never used this. I only actually learned about it recently.
Yeah, so all the cool kids from a certain vendor talk about that.
Got it. I see what you're doing, Sebastian. I see what you're doing. Okay.
But, I mentioned cloud native build packs, and Pivotal /VMware is a big contributor to those. So,
yeah,
I kind of did a little shout out to my people as well.
It's all good. It's all good. We just want to get the thing to work, right? Like that. Like the whole goal is we sit together for a handful of hours trying to get a project done. That is the whole reason why we stream. And if
Right.
if it turns out we're better at just getting one of those things working in that time frame, I'm cool with that, because that's like our goal is to show how to get this done. And maybe it's not the right thing to do at the time, but hey, it did the job, and that's cool for me.
Cool.
All right.
So then that final thing at the bottom there, task runs and pipeline runs.
Yes.
So basically, you define a pipeline or you define a task, but then you need a run resource to actually trigger, to actually make that run.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you create a task that doesn't actually run the task. It just sets the task up. So I think that's probably an important distinction as well. So yeah, we can create those manually. So I feel like the first thing we should do is, if you scroll back up, to go too far, scroll back down to that second image, next one. Yeah, so I feel like that build is a task, right? So why don't we dial in on that build, create the task, and then create a task run, and then like prove out that we can build that image. And then we'll, if we have time, we'll then move on to the next sets of tasks and queue them up, and then create a pipeline run. So I feel like we've got a pretty good idea. Should we just find some curl bash and yeet this thing into a Kubernetes cluster?
Actually, that's exactly what this told us to do. So I did create a Tekton namespace for us. And if you want to bring this up to,
That's a good start.
Yep. Having you yell at me about not using namespaces has finally sunk in.
Yeah. Hey, so I just want to point out that I bully you on Twitter, and that changes your behavior. Therefore, I am a social media influencer, sir.
It's true. That is very true. It is very true. You are a thought lord.
Don't bully people on Twitter. It's bad. Unless it's JJ, and go ahead. All bets are off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never know what I'm doing half the time anyway, and I just copy and pasta from other people all the time, and then like try to munge it together, and somehow I made a career out of it. Who knows? Okay.
So let's kubectl apply that. So that cluster role binding is G-Cloud specific.
So
I
it
don't
is.
think we need that.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and yeet this thing in. I'm using yeet because I'm a social media influencer, and that's one of our words.
I'm paranoid, and I'm actually want to see this. Get that release. Now I realize this is going to be huge. Yeah, 1,452 lines.
Why don't you jump out of there and just grep for kind.
Oh, there we go.
Right, quite and a bit. Then do a WC-L.
7.
All right, so we got like 50-ish Kubernetes resources that go into installing this thing. So maybe do a grep for was it custom resource definition? And throw a -I in there. No, at the start of the grep, because
there's some lag on this machine or something, because doing stuff is not happy. Ugh. Custom -I. There we go. Got a few.
Yeah, so there's a few custom resource definitions. All right. I mean, you can, if you want to read that thing with a fine-tooth comb.
I need some stuff to read when I go to sleep tonight.
Right.
What else am I going to do? Right. Holy shit.
You can print it out and read it on the toilet.
There you go. Highlight the things I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Yeah.
I have a highlighter right here. It's actually not. It's a smelly marker. Okay, so we've deployed it, which was oddly fast. We don't care about versions because we're just doing. Oh, it created its own namespace. Oh. Okay. kubectl get pods. Kube get pods and tekton pipelines. And it's running.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, that's easy. So there's a controller and a webhook, which is pretty common for like controllers / operators in the Kubernetes world.
Yes. Are we still streaming?
Uh-oh.
Like, according to OBS, we are, but according to, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Babe Cafe. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I need to. Something's not happy in my machine, and I moved it, so it's not my laptop. I know that for a fact. So.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe you just have some bandwidth issues at your house, because I just typed in our TMUX session and it was like 0 lag for me.
Okay. Someone abusing my internet right now? No. Huh. All right. Well, we'll keep going. Sorry. Yeah. I was really hoping to have this one good too. Okay. Well, anyway.
We'll just roll with it.
Yep. All right. So we do not have any persistent volumes because we're just YOLOing this thing.
Well, I think it actually needs them.
Oh, really?
Well, if you're going to pass information and files from one container to another.
NS.
Oh, yeah.
Tekton.
Python. Interesting. Go back to the doc. Oh, it's created a volume, but it hasn't created a claim. So do a get PV.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait. No, that's the reattribute. That was another project we were doing.
Oh.
No, it did not create one.
It's interesting. It hasn't even created a claim. All right, go back to the doc. Was there another thing it said about storage classes? Yeah, so I think it's going to ask us to create one. So I think if you keep scrolling down.
This one? Create config map, PVC. This is involving 10 gigs, manual storage class for new workflow. Yes.
Yeah, so you'll want to change manual to be your like storage gold or whatever it was.
What is it? File bronze.
Yeah. So why don't you set that as a variable and then you can just reference it back as a variable.
I was going to create a little script to do it. All right. PVC equals IBM C file bronze. Okay. Okay.
$.
Yep.
You got it.
Like so?
Sure. Oh. Okay.
What?
Get? No, you need to do a get of the config map.
So one word.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
one
is.
word. Yeah, so there it is. So do a
Dash O YAML.
Yeah, but you want to just specify the specific config map,
Oh,
right? So
this
we'll
one
go back to the error it gave you.
right here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was still further up.
Oh, damn it.
Or we can just here. Let me
Yeah.
let me take over for a second. Right, already exists. So let's do a okay. So they created one as part of that. Yeah, so I think this is a case of them not documenting things very well. But what we can do here is, what was it again?
IBM. No. Go back. Just hop out real quick and just echo out PVC. IBM C file bronze.
Right.
Because that makes sense.
Well, IBM Cloud.
Oh, hi, yeah. Nice.
All right. And we probably could leave that empty because this is a default, but
That data can't be in the right spot. Go back. Go back to the PVC, the IBM. That data under metadata or in the namespace, it can't be right.
look at them. Yeah, that's just a tagging issue.
Okay.
But good catch. All right, 2, 2, 1. All right. So the only thing that should change here is the config map. Still no. Okay, go back to your doc now and see what it.
Wait, did you do PVC or PV? Yeah, try PV. Nope.
Nope. All right, go back. Maybe it's. Oh boy. All right. So we created the persist. We did what it told us to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to like? This was a legitimate problem. We had to open up the release.yaml and uncomment a bunch of stuff. Should we put in a PR saying, "Hey, you might need to open up the release.yaml to enable this"? That's the right thing to do, right?
But also, like, I don't want to get lost in running around opening up PRs and not actually get through what we want to get through.
I mean, okay, cool.
Tekton uses a default service account in your Kubernetes cluster unless otherwise configured. If you would like to override this option, update default service account attribute of the config map. Interesting. So how will that could come to bite us, because if we have to create a service account, we would have to set a bunch of permissions.
Well, that was what the original like cluster binding admin did up here.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we do. is we need to grant the cluster admin privileges to the Tekton pipeline default service account, right? So we would need to do create cluster role binding help. Here, this is the guy we want. So we're creating a cluster role binding. Thank you very much. Copy and paste. And I think this should be service account default. And then we'll call this Tekton.
No, we should say that this is specific to the IBM Cloud here. From what we've seen, no?
This is commonplace. Like,
no, sorry. What we are doing right now is because we discovered that we could not create the PV. Is that right? Or are we doing something else?
So I think that might be the case.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. So Tekton does not have any permissions to interact with Kubernetes, right? Because the default service account in the namespace has basically 0 permissions. So what we're going to do to just let us get through this is give it the default service account in our Tekton pipelines namespace. We're going to give it cluster admin rights. Usually you would actually tighten that up. Like you probably shouldn't be giving Tekton cluster admin rights if you're doing this in production, but we're just yeeting this stuff into.
Yeah, no, we're playing with it, right? But what I was trying to get to is that it sounds like what you're writing is exactly what we see here, but this right part is specific to GKE.
Yes.
So we should try to figure out the version, or I should take an action item to figure out the version for IBM Cloud, because this is something that we need for. I'm making the connections in my head, right?
The connection we should make is they should have if you're on a regular Kubernetes cluster, you need to run this command. Any cluster with RBAC enabled, which at this point is every cluster, you need this role binding.
Well, they say that.
I feel like it's a little bit on the nose for them to have GKE specific instructions versus a general purpose Kubernetes.
Yeah. Okay. Seems reasonable.
Yeah. All right. So let me see. Create cluster cluster role name service account. And we can do. We should be doing a dry run. We're still not getting it right. That's all right. We're giving it a name, Tekton. Giving it a cluster role. We're giving it the service account.
Are we logged in with a non-cluster admin, right? Admin rights?
Well, you're logged in as you, right?
Yeah.
No, it's complaining about our syntax.
Now, is Jay working for you right now, or are you using that arrow?
I'm using the Control B square thing.
Yeah, but like you're actually like scrolling up with the up arrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, unknown flag dash
service account.
Isn't that what it's telling us? Oh my God, Paul, come on. Come on. What is this, amateur hour? Okay, so that thinks it worked. Because I had dry run, it didn't actually do it. So we run it again. All right, so we've now given that user
cluster admin.
So maybe now we can get PVC.
No, don't we have to run it again?
We shouldn't need to. but we can do.
It's called Knative stuff. That's odd.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Run the release again.
Config artifact PVC.
That looks right. Just need to change the 5G. Oh, okay.
Like maybe it needs that to. When in doubt.
Yeah.
What's the deal? It's 2020. We're running Kubernetes, and we still, when in doubt, reboot it.
Yep. Just put it back to 0 state. Nope.
Still hasn't requested a volume.
Got to be missing something.
Well, let's go back to the docs.
Version, namespace. Do you want to destroy that config map and then recreate it?
I mean, we shouldn't have to. Let's just scroll down a little bit and see what else it's telling us.
Service account.
So scroll down a little bit further.
And it's all about the CLI.
Carbon. So the other thing is maybe it doesn't actually create the PVC until it's needed.
So Bernard 12. Let's go with that. That's I don't know what that word is. Polarate. I'm not smart. To make sure that all objects are stateless and repeatable. I'm not too sure what you were referencing, but thank you. Do you know what he's talking about? Or she, or okay. If you wouldn't mind adding a little bit more detail around that, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, so where are we? We're just going to nuke this from orbit and install Jenkins.
Right. Maybe open up. What was that? Tekton? Was it TKN?
Yes, TKN. I've installed it. It's on there. TKN. Yep. Help. There you go.
All right, it's not.
I'm not the only one who reads that cluster task as clusterfuck, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on. No.
It looks really close.
So right now, it looks like none of that is going to help us at the lower level we're at. Well, I don't know if we should.
I'm really thinking we should just bring up that release file again and look for something else we need to change in there, because we must have forgotten something. You know?
Yeah. Oh, wow. What an idiot.
It's okay. I still care about you.
But like, it's not going to expect us to go through all of this. Right, here's our cluster role. Tekton pipelines. Hold on. So let's have a look at the deployment Tekton pipelines controller.
Okay.
And look for service account. So the documentation is wrong again. Because the documentation says it runs as the default service account, but it doesn't.
This PR starting to feel like something we should be putting in.
Right?
Because this, like to your point, it's legit wrong.
So that's our service account. So get.
Oh, so we need to give cluster admin rights to Homeboy now.
Well, that's a good question. Because it. So let's look for binding. Right, so it's creating cluster role binding. And it's referencing this cluster role. Cluster role, tenant access, cluster access. Oops. I want to see the role bindings. Here's the cluster roles. Tekton pipelines controller cluster access. All right. But then in, where did I just see it? Oh yeah, here in the tenant access, it's getting access to all of these things: pods, secrets, events, service accounts, persistent volume claims, to get, list, create. Yeah, so it's getting full CRUD for PVCs. So from what I can read here, this should have worked.
So do we remove this whole thing and reinstall it?
Yeah.
Because now that we have the correct things. And give it a minute to make sure it actually does the thing we want it to.
Yeah.
Wait, we didn't give the cluster admin rights to the service account.
Well, right? We don't need to.
Oh, because it's the subset
from that cluster role and service account it creates. It looks like it already has everything it needs.
Got it, I think.
config artifact PVC. Oh, thanks for nothing. Right, so that's back to having that.
It was created just a second ago.
Yeah.
It says it's there. What? I mean, we don't see any errors or anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
Hey,
It's
why
like,
don't you go back, jump back to that the Kata container thing that had this like the demo you were going to go through. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to see that script that they run.
Do you want to try to bring up kind real quick and try to run this inside of kind? See what happens?
No, I think so. Let's do this. Okay.
Gotta love that. That is literally the commit message working.
Yeah. Way to go.
Oh, sorry. Thought we were done.
Nope. No, I wanted to actually look at, like, I reckon we could probably just run.
It's the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
So why don't you why don't you just run those two? Wait, and they're commented out.
Yeah.
So launch.sh must be doing all of that now.
No, I think if you go through the Katacoda installation thing, you'll notice that Katacoda launch.sh actually starts with Kubernetes in your instance.
Right, but they're not actually running any of these commands. They're all commented out.
Correct. But if you go into the Katacoda thing, it's copy and pasted from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So go into the Katacoda thing.
All right.
So
they do a specific version. See, there we go.
Go ahead and run those on your cluster.
So latest is busted.
Well, maybe. I mean, it could all be busted. Who knows? But let's
okay.
Start with this guy.
Good.
Yeah. All right. And now let me have a look at. Yeah. So grab that config map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's back being empty.
Yes.
So maybe we should run through this on Katacoda and see where we get to.
All right. Well, this is it doing it for us. So then we can do get config or kube get config map. What?
It's probably not in the right namespace. Get namespace.
Oh, God. Thank you.
Yeah, you're just not in that namespace. So do the -n Tekton pipelines.
Get CM. What was it? Config artifact PVC.
Artifact -PVC.
Config artifact PVC.
Yeah.
dash o YAML channel
Dash N. Yeah, you got it.
God damn it.
So close.
Story of my life. Nothing.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you go ahead and let's scroll down and see what other steps they take.
You install the dashboard.
Yeah, they install the dashboard, then they expose it. Yeah, don't actually do it yet. I'm just curious what else they're doing.
Oh shit, my bad.
Oh, that's fine if you do. I'm just
Then they install an ingress controller.
controller, right? Which is fine. We don't care about that.
And they open the dashboard.
Right. All right, we'll hit continue.
Now you actually play around inside of Tekton.
Right. So maybe run that. Hang on one sec. Maybe run that dashboard install on your cluster, and we'll see if there's any difference there. I'm starting to think it doesn't even try and create that PVC until you actually perform an action.
Okay.
So you could probably do a port forward into that and then just open it.
All right. It's okay. Wait, no, I gotta do this from my laptop, don't I?
Oh, actually, no, just create the ingress. We YOLOing things, it's fine.
All right.
So you already have an you already have an slow down. You already have a controller. You don't want to try and install another controller. You just want the actual ingress resource. See where it's the cat EOF blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And now do a kget ingress.
Okay.
Now, hopefully you have an ingress controller on here.
So load balancer.
You do have it.
Everything.
Is this a new cluster or is this the old cluster we've been working on?
It's the old one.
Yeah, so we've definitely got an ingress controller, so it should
97 here.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't got a external IP yet, so do a get ingress again.
Nope.
Why do you make our life so difficult? All right, let's have a look at what we're doing here. Status is blank. Annotations, we haven't specified an ingress controller. Okay, get NS. Okay, get pod session.
Oh, it's external DNS.
So we have that running. Uh, 1997, that looks right. Lasai.
Mm-hmm.
Get pods. Ah. Ingress contains no valid rules. Oh yeah, that doesn't look right. Is this real life? Go back to the docs because it should have a HTTP rule. If we look at yeah, it's totally not going to work. What craziness are they talking?
Maybe it'll work. Yeah, it works in their this little environment.
I don't know what. Go back to the terminal. No, that dashboard you're looking at is the. Oh, I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, this is like their little fake terminal, right? Or fake instance where I'm sitting in here.
But how are they getting to that? Go back to like their terminal tab. Because yeah, so they're faking this. Oh no, you need to be in the namespace, yeah. But we didn't actually run that command. Did we? In their terminal?
Oh no, we did. Well, no, yeah, I clicked on the button by accident. Because when I was trying to copy paste it, it saw that I clicked on it, so it was like, oh, I'll run it. I'll keep running it over and over again.
So if you flip back to, I'm going to look at the console. I'm just looking at kedit ingress -n default.
Oh, there you go. That looks familiar.
Yeah, see, spec, rules, host. This is what we need.
You want to grab that real quick?
I sure do want to grab that real quick.
Gonna split it? Aw, not gonna split it?
Nah.
No. Gotta love set paste. Set paste.
No, that's because it's a tmux thing. You take over because you haven't got all the extra. My tmux window is bigger than yours, so it pads it.
Sorry.
Good job.
Or I should say.
All right. Well, hang on. That host isn't right. You need the. Have you still got that wildcard working?
I haven't touched it, so I don't know.
Yeah. So what's the IP address of? Let me just get a new one. Get ingress -a. Let's set that. tekton.zip.io.
We don't actually know what the service name is, do we?
Yeah.
We do?
It's right there.
Oh, haha, nice. That's smart.
So there's our host, HTTP. I think that'll do us.
Yay!
Now, if you go to that URL,
Boo! So close. Or is it because it's HTTPS?
Oh,
The redirect is happening, right? There we go.
Oh,
Yay!
it just took time. It's working. It's working.
I haven't gotten that one up and running. I will, though. I will.
Well, great. We have a dashboard.
Yes.
So let's follow their instructions, but keep doing it locally on our dashboard. So what do they say to do next?
All right.
I feel like at this point, I just want to see something work.
All right. You know what I'll do? I will. Do you think splitting this will work in Windows? Like put this one over here. So if I do that, yeah, this looks fine. There we go. All right. We want to import a Tekton resource defined in the Tekton directory of my app. Import these Tekton resources default namespace by filling in the form of the following information. We want to import resources.
Yeah, so we can see that down the bottom there.
Okay. HTTPS.
Please copy and paste.
All right.
There are many things I admire about you, JJ. Your typing abilities are not there.
Default Tekton dashboard. Good.
That's funny.
Huh. Wait, I missed.
Well, just that we would be using the Tekton dashboard service account to run a.
Oh, that's view status of this run. Unable to fetch log. Oh, waiting. Pod initialize. Oh, so what you want to see if that PVC?
Yeah. So if you do TKR, TKN, sorry, and then tasks, and then lists.
Lists.
Woo.
Wait, 10 minutes
10
ago.
minutes ago. Oh. How do we get to the output of that task?
TKN tasks list. Oh.
Well, it wouldn't be task lists. It would be tasks. And so you'd probably specify the task name. So do the
logs.
listing.
There's a logs.
Yeah.
Brand. So that was. Oh, god damn it. List.
And then
So
TKN tasks, logs, pipeline task.
Pipeline. 0 task. Fetch commit from Katacoda failed. What? Does not exist or is empty.
So they might. Okay.
So Homeboy has written something specific for Katacoda here.
Yeah. We'll go. It was interesting. It thought it was running
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago.
Not run.
So pod initializing and go to details again.
Apply. kubectl. Specific SHA here. The fuck is this?
Well, that's just specifying the image to run.
Yeah, but like that's a real like.
Yeah, that's a digest.
Yeah, they're really specific about the image.
Yeah, because you can have, like, you can push the same tag twice, right?
True, that is true.
You can't push the same digest twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it would be. I was looking for something to like track along this thing, but I'm not seeing any errors.
Okay,
Oh, and
so
that's just an info. That's not even an error.
oh yeah,
So it's
do
doing
a
something.
do a kgetns. And then do a. Oh, didn't it say it was going to do it in the default namespace?
Yeah.
Do a k -n default get all. Oh, who knows? None of that looks like it's new though.
No.
What namespace are we in? Are we still in Tekton pipelines? Do we get
Yeah.
PVC? See if it's created a PVC yet. Nope.
No. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's.
Yeah.
Default.
All right. We'll go back to their instructions and see what else it's telling us.
Been terminating for 16 days. Jesus. Okay. Wait for step completed.
Right.
Can I refresh this? Step completed.
Oh. We just expected that it would. All right. So what is
We imported something.
Right. So we imported a pipeline of some sort.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at what that is. Oh my god. All right, Tekton. Oh, here we go. We got a build task, a deploy task, and a pipeline.
Right.
All right. So we want to look at the build task first. Right?
Well, yeah, okay, that works.
So
all right,
some parameters.
Some yep. Right. So the inputs are pulling stuff from Git, specifying the path to the Docker file, context builder image, and then it's using those inputs as variables to pass to Docker build, volume mounting in Docker stuff. Okay, this all looks pretty reasonable.
This looks like exactly what we're looking for our little pipeline down the line.
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay. So that's our build task.
Go back to your command line and do a tkn get pipeline. Oh, tkn pipelines. Sorry, I don't think there's a get in there, is there?
Pipelines. List. There we go.
All right.
Log my app. Logs. Jesus. Oh. Oh, it's because we haven't actually ran it yet. We've just imported it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good point.
So we need to come into this guy. And, well, hold on. Let's double check what they're doing here. So that's the in portion. Now we're going to continue. Now we go to pipeline resources. Make sure default is selected. Namespace, here we go. Default. Okay, click create. Name of my app. Namespace of default. And master. Create. Want some YAML? Build and deploy my app.
All right.
So now that we've created the pipeline resource, which is the declaration of this is a pipeline. So the pipeline is the actual, like, this is what the pipeline is. The resource is the declaration of this is the pipeline.
Yep.
And now pipeline run runs the pipeline resource.
Yep.
So why is the pipeline resource and pipelines different? Shouldn't that be the same thing? Like, why would you ever need to have, like, the design of the pipeline and the pipeline entity two different things? Can you stamp out multiple pipelines from one pipeline?
So let's have a look at, so we're at the pipeline resources right now, right?
Yes.
And so these,
excuse me.
Okay, these are resources that will get passed into the pipeline, right?
Oh, so you can abstract it away. So you can put
parameters into the pipeline.
Got it.
And so if you could have like a dev and prod, and they would call a different revision.
Yep. Okay, that makes more sense. So you can switch things out.
Yep.
Makes sense, because you'd have a back to standardization.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about it. If you need to run make test and every single time to do something, but you use on for Node, Python, Java, or whatever. I mean, I guess you wouldn't, but you get the point. You could have that standard pipeline, and then the pipeline resources, one's for Java, one's for Node, one's for Go. That makes a lot more sense. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the pipeline runs. We create a blue right here. We want to do my app. And my app. All the other things are default. I like how his is not grayed out. That's fun. And create. There's our run. I feel like we should look for that and change it to not running instead of not run. That seems really weird. Uh-oh. HTTP var sock could not run.
Oh, is it? I wonder if it's trying to mount in your Docker socket and you don't have one because you're on container D.
Yep.
So we might need to mess with the, is it a step or task?
That was a task, I believe. Build Docker. Wait. Tasks.
Yeah.
Build Docker. Why did it go to the runs?
So it's from there, it's taking us to the number of times that task's been run.
Ah, okay.
Right. So let's click on the task run.
No.
Okay. So in our command line, then we
this is what we need to change. Yeah, this is what we need to change. Right, the mount path. Shit, didn't we do this? We figured out that it had to be like var.
Yeah, that wasn't for the Docker socket. That was for the Docker logs.
Ah, shit, that's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like we can work from this.
Okay.
So open your command prompt up.
Yep.
So get tasks. And it was the build Docker one, right?
Yes. So wait, the tasks is a CRD.
Right.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why it was an option for kubectl to do now, because it is a custom resource that we created.
Yeah, so it is doing a host mount. So here is, if you open up a browser.
Okay.
And then let's
Container
look
D.
for, no. I want to look for Tekton task Kaneko, K-A-N.
K-A-N.
I-K-O.
Like that?
Yeah.
The fuck?
That should do it there. Pipeline tutorial. And then just do a word search for Kaneko. All right. So I think we can use a combination of this. And so we're going to change the, you might need to do that side by side with the console.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, we're inside a task. He's inside a task. No resources, volume mounts. So first of all, I think you can kill the volume mounts and volumes. Oh, hang on. Volume mounts. What's that working? Oh yeah, that's fine. So yeah, okay. So you can kill 2 mount paths, and you can kill those volumes as well.
All the way down?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and now we need to change the image to that GCR Kaneko project.
Looking for it. Sorry. Oh, GCR.
No, type it in. Come on. Don't type it in. Copy and paste. There's no way you're going to type all of that without a typo.
Love you too, buddy. All right.
And then
Build and push. Or build. Shouldn't this just be build?
the name doesn't really matter.
Okay. The command should be.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, that is going to be an interesting one, because the way Kaneko works is it does the build and the push in one go. But we'll figure that out.
Yep. And then the args we need to change.
Yep.
To Docker file.
If you kill off the first two, so that line, and then the -t line, so the line after it, yep. And then at the start of each of these, you just need to do, so the first one, -- Docker file equals. Yeah, and then -- we don't have we don't have a destination yet.
We have context.
Context, so do the path to context.
Builder image.
Oh yeah, and I think this one can be the destination. Yep.
Yeah, because if you look at the outputs, builder image at URL. Like that?
Yep. And then scroll up. Let's see what else is in here.
That's it.
Those inputs. Okay. Now I think something will fail. When we run it, because it won't be able to push to that, but we'll actually see the build happen, I think. So
that's the only goal.
I think we can save this.
All right.
Okay. And then back in the dashboard.
Shit, my bad. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Back in the dashboard.
Go back to the tasks.
Oops, I lost the back in tasks. Tasks. Build
Yeah.
Docker.
Yeah. Oh, that just takes us to there. So now, where did we run it? It was in the pipeline runs, right?
Yes. Create or rerun? No, rerun.
Yeah, I think you can do rerun.
Yep. Not run. There you go. The build. So it pulled in the change we had.
Mm-hmm.
And the details, destination, everything expected. Come on. No whammies.
If you go back to your console, you should be able to do a k get pods.
My app, here it is. Error.
All right.
54 seconds.
So do a describe of that. Describe pod.
Ugh.
Okay, well, it looks like it started it. So yeah, do a logs and see. No, it's you're doing get logs. It should be just k logs.
No, god damn it.
Oh yeah, and then maybe it would be a good one to run Stern on. So Stern, and then paste that in my app. Yep. Are there no logs at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, close that. Rerun the logs command. And then
Oh, we
rerun
need an
it
actual
and do
pod
it dash C.
or
Yeah,
container.
with Stern we shouldn't have had to, but that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
So dash C to specify the container, and then do step dash build.
Oh, your push thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So it's going to assume it has access to push to let me think. Is there so we must need to create a Docker login resource and attach that as a task resource. So let's have a look at the docs we were just at. We stole the Kaneko steps from. No, the docs we stole the Kaneko steps from.
Isn't this here?
No, this is Katacoda. Remember we Googled for Kaneko?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Where did I put it?
I don't know.
Right here.
All
Oh, here
right.
it is. Create secret. All that.
Yeah. Now, do you have a way to easily create a secret to use the IBM container?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head though.
Okay. You're on a Mac, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you should be able to grab your Docker credentials. from your Docker file. And so you don't have to type all of that out. I'm just trying to remember the, open up a new browser tab and just Google for kubectl create reg cred from
reg cred.
Docker credentials. Mac.
Docker registry. That one?
Sure.
This one?
I think you want that. No. Yeah, try that one. Yeah, no, there should be a way to just pull it in from your actual Docker config file. Oh, hang on. Docker config JSON. No, that doesn't tell you anything.
This one?
No. What is the... let me just have a quick look. Create a secret based on existing Docker credentials. Here we go. So that looks like what you need to run.
Where'd you send it?
Oh, I pasted it in the tmux.
Oh.
So obviously you want to run this on your Mac, and you want to put that to your Docker config file, which I believe is in your like home directory, right? I think is where it's stored.
Yep, there it is. And do I need the brackets around it?
No. No, those brackets are usually the doc's way of telling you to put something in there.
Like that?
Sure.
Oh, but I'm not connected to the machine. IBM Cloud cluster fig. God damn it. There you go. Done. You're on mute.
Yeah, I lost track of my Zoom window. Okay, so let's just confirm. Okay, get secret. I won't output the. It's not saying the secret. Did you create it?
Yeah.
In the default namespace?
No, did it in default. All right, Loki.
Right. So I would make sure you delete that secret so you don't leave it lying around.
Yeah. Should be in the default now.
Okay, cool.
Secret. There we go.
Okay, now we've created that secret. We need to reference it somewhere. So if you go back to the Tekton docs with the Kaneko example.
This guy.
Yeah.
Right? That's different though, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll have to think about. I'm not quite sure we want to. Oh yeah, that should be fine. So you should be able to copy and paste that text box into a YAML file, and then call it like yeah, Docker creds, yeah, whatever. And then change the name to be, let me think about it. Hang on. Yeah. I would call it, let me see. The service account will be used specifically for that build. So I would call it my app dash service account. And then just copy, yeah, and then just copy and paste that so you don't have to type it out again and we remember it. Yeah. Save it, and then apply it. And then you'll want to edit our job again. Yeah. And then under namespace, we can set service account and then paste in the service account we created. I think it's capital A. Yeah. And then go back to the doc real quick and make sure we put it in the right spot. No.
You put it inside the spec.
Oh, it's in the task run. Okay, so this isn't the task run, is it?
Nope.
No, okay. So save that out. And maybe go back to your dashboard, because the dashboard would have created the task run. And I think there might have been an option to specify. You're probably under the pipeline run, actually, because the pipeline run created the task run.
No, yeah, pipeline resource. Pipeline resource, isn't it?
No, pipeline runs.
Okay, this one?
Yeah. How do we edit it? Can we go back?
Back?
No, back to the pipeline runs list. Is there a delete rerun? Okay. I guess we'll create a new one.
Service account.
Yeah. And then for the builder image, you need to specify your Docker Hub username / my app.
Okay.
Yeah, :latest, just to be consistent. Yep.
Good.
Hit create.
Give it a minute.
Yeah, so hopefully, so basically we created a registry secret and we created a service account to use that registry secret. And then we told the pipeline run to use that. Okay. So it's still failing. So maybe we just didn't get our permissions right. I wonder if...
No, it's pod initializing still.
Oh. Yeah, so it's errored out. If you switch back to tmux.
Yeah.
So if we go to logs of this guy. And then get build. Yeah, make sure you enter the correct tag name and you are authorized. Try again.
That's right.
It is right.
Is there a way for us to test the secret?
I mean, I guess on your laptop, you could try pushing an image and make sure it works. So just do a Docker images, and just look at what you got.
Oh. Don't have actually Docker running. Well, while we're getting this up and going, you want to take a couple minute break?
Well, let's just double check this real quick and then take a break. Yeah. So rerun Docker images, or is it going to take a minute to start?
It takes a minute for Docker to start.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a break then.
Okay. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thanks for sticking around. All right, we're out now. Docker images. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back.
All right, me too.
Okay. And oops. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around. Old man legs. Got to walk around every once in a while. So who am I with?
Oh, hey, you're with Paul Tchaikovsky. I'm developer advocate at VMware.
And hi, I'm JJ. If you stuck around, you know that we are fighting with Tekton today. Although, honestly, we have made a huge amount of progress. It wasn't as drop in and make it happen as we thought it was going to. But we have actually got our dashboard up and running. We've got it at least attempting to build something for us. We're dealing with some permission issues right now, which is what we're going to work on here in just a second. And if you look briefly here, if I go back to this guy and then one, we're actually getting real close to completing our agenda.
Yeah.
It dawned on me as I was walking around. I was like, hey, wait a second, we're actually getting really close. It's not cut and dry, but it's pretty damn close, which is cool. It's a good feeling, right?
Yeah. So I just had a look at the Tekton docs, and it looks like we have done the right thing for the Docker permissions. And so I think we just need to confirm that the permissions were correct. So yeah.
It looks like I'm pushing.
Okay. Now in a window that's not shared with the rest of the world, just do a cat of that Docker config file and make sure it has the secret in there. Because I know the Mac does something weird with the keyring.
No, it does not.
Right. So what does it have in there? I guess you can share it, right? Because there's no password in
there. Pretty much nothing. So I guess we should do all that password and all that jazz on another screen.
I'm sure there's a way. There's a way to do it.
Cred store there. Look at that. Cred store desktop. So you're right. It's doing the key, probably the key ring, and or this little Docker desktop app running thing in here.
Yeah. So let me think about why we do that.
I really think we should just run that with the suggested again, and I'll just put it in another window and just recreate the secret.
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, it seems like the easiest path to success here.
Yeah.
So we go back over here, and then we just take this homeboy, copy. Okay, namespace, default, and then I can do and that, enter. So then I can do k delete secret reg CER. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Is it docker.io or is it hub.docker.io for the registry server? Do you know? Or this guy? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just docker.io. Hang on, let me have a look.
Okay.
registry credentials.
Really? That's my password? I thought I changed that.
Oh, is it?
Hmm?
Here, isn't it this? I think it might be that.
Okay. Yes. Index.docker.io/v1. Okay, I created it.
All right. Use the same name.
I deleted the first one.
Yeah. So I think we can just rerun the pipeline run that we just did.
All right. Rerun. Oh, hey,
Boom.
we got things happening.
All right.
Excellent.
Yay. Is that done? No, it's running still. And it is updating, which is kind of cool.
Oh, completed.
Damn it.
Well, so that one task finished.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it would be. Oh, it failed.
Yeah, that's fine.
The
The
deploy
deploy step failed. So what's our deploy step?
That will be under tasks. Deploy
Yeah.
to cut. Oh, yeah, because we haven't configured this at all.
Right.
That'll do it. All right, so we need to go over here to do edit. What was it? Deploy. God damn it. Deploy kubectl. Deploy kubectl. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now let's have a look at our inputs and stuff.
Inputs. Kubectl apply -f.
Yeah, but this is all fine. I don't see a problem with this.
Oh, because we haven't actually given it a directory path. We don't have the.
That's supposed to be coming in as an argument.
Did we never gave it though? Did we?
Where did we set the? Oh, it might be. Go back to the previous task.
Previous task.
As in the here. Let me.
Okay.
I'll type rather than.
Yeah. You drive. Deploy. Yeah. Build Docker. Yeah. So this is only just the Docker part.
Wait.
So we have to create a deployment manifest.
Oh, that's
we
the
haven't created.
default. So we want to edit the. Okay, get edit pipeline run, and is this the most recent one we ran? No, this guy here. So the builder image. So that's where we set the builder image. And that then got pumped all the way through to the task.
And we don't have a /config. We imported one, right?
Oh, I wonder if let me think. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. So if we go to the Git repo of the My App demo.
Okay. Crap, what was it? It's over here.
Yeah, it's up in your far right tab.
Oh, yep.
So it looks like he has a
Config directory here.
config. Yeah. So here's what we can do is we can edit the task. Flip us back to the text editor.
Yep.
Right, so we're inside the task. And then we look at our steps. So kubectl, apply -f. So we could do kubectl create.
Oh yeah, just do this all one big line. Ah, nice.
Deployment.
Ever. This is what was his name? This is what Sebastian was suggesting earlier.
My app.
Image.
And then
-- image.
Yeah, what was the -- image, you're right. Oop.
JJ Asgar.
Well, we need to use the input parameter.
Can we just remove them? Can we just remove the inputs? Can just make it.
I mean, we could hard code it, but we're using the parameter in one of the other spots.
Yeah, not in this one though.
Right, but we should. Otherwise, okay, if we change it, it won't change through.
Yeah, all right, that's true. That's all.
But let's just to not be too crazy. Let's just actually do.
Oh, you got to do J, because JJ was is a bound to escape.
Wait, what? Even in insert mode?
No, if you're in insert mode, you type JJ too quickly, it pops you out for escape, because I got that stupid Mac escape, and the suggestion is to have it as JJ.
Nope.
/
My app. Latest.
Yep.
Right.
I have the one name that the one thing that people suggest to do won't work.
Is that the right set of arguments?
We also need a port. We export a port, don't we?
Like we don't have to.
I guess it's true. We don't actually have to see the picture. We just want to actually see the pipeline succeed.
Right.
Yeah. So go right quit.
And this name is not apply config, it is create deployment. No, let's not get carried away with ourselves. Delete deployment. name delete deployment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to create the deployment, and then it's going to delete the deployment completely. With the thought that here we would actually add another step for step 2, kubectl port forward and curl, right?
Yep. Well, I don't think there's actually. I think it's a website of a picture of a cat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Found a tab character.
Tab. I don't believe in no tabs. Oh yeah, you're missing the dash for args.
It was just indented bad, I think.
I do set list.
You do it.
Ah, on the wrong window. There you go.
Sigh.
That is one of my next major kind of, I guess, not projects, but there's got to be a good way to do YAML configuration inside of Vim that isn't
Well, I know
just
there's,
that
you can
list.
definitely tell Vim to use spaces when you ask for a tab.
I thought I set that up though.
All signs point to no.
Hmm. Or at least the sed to get rid of tabs and turn them into safe spaces. There's got to be a sed to do, or a dot slash. You know what I mean? There you go.
All
Just
right.
because I'm annoyed already. Let's see. See, tab stop 2 spaces.
But it's still
Okay.
using a tab. It's just telling you how to deploy to display it.
Yeah. All right. That's valid. Okay. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you can rerun that pipeline run.
All right. Full pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be that top one. So
Oh.
you can
Well, I
run it.
lost your sound. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Cool. Or just rerun this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, cool. It showed the deployments. The deployment and create deployment. It's now there. It reads it on the fly, I guess. There we go. There we go. All right, things are happening again.
If you switch to the terminal, I just ran Stern.
Yeah, okay.
So it might be a little bit more real time than watching a web GUI.
GUIs are the way of the future, man. What are you talking
Hey,
about?
look, I will say that using that GUI has probably saved us some time.
That's true. That is true.
So oh, maybe it's pushing it up. Go back to the dashboard.
Hey. Oh, things are happening. Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, it looks like it failed. Oh yeah, of course.
Hmm.
It doesn't have access to run a deployment.
Oh, because we get, yep,
Yeah, so it's running as the service account, right?
yes.
So we can do create a cluster role binding. My app admin cluster role service account is default / what do we call it? My app
My app.
service account.
No dash, no dash between it. One word.
Oop.
Yay.
So let's have a look at this guy. So this is a task run.
Oh, true. Succeeded. Oh, that was the other one. Wait, no,
Yeah,
that's 3 minutes ago.
we're looking for the deploy. This last one.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
actually,
wonder if we can go.
hang on. That's actually a good thing to point out to people who are watching. To the point that Sebastian made earlier, every single task run is run in its own container. Hence the reason why we have a build container and a deploy container. And then
Yeah, every step.
Every step.
Every step is a container in the pod.
Yep.
So absolutely, he was right. Yep.
So by that definition, could we use like an empty dir to handle to hand things off between pods?
Yes.
If you had to if you had multiple steps that needed to keep state.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Okay. Well, that's something for a different time, but it's starting to make sense to me, and that's why I
absolutely.
immediately jumped in.
Would work great for that, and then I guess you would only need the PVC if you wanted to pass it between tasks.
Which is probably something very valid for more advanced pipelines. But if you were just trying to keep state between each task, you would hand off this. Well, again, that's for another day.
Okay, so my app run, deploy, let me see. So if you go back to your dashboard.
Dashboard.
Now go to task runs.
Task runs.
And the most recent one that ran was the deploy 5 minutes ago, and it failed.
HK6, X-ray 6.
Yeah. So hit the triple dot to the end of that and see if there's a rerun.
There's none.
No. Okay.
Just kick the whole pipeline off again.
Yeah, kick the pipeline again. I just thought maybe we could just kick the task run.
Rerun this failed one. Huh. That rerun did not take. But if we go in here and click rerun up here, that one works.
Huh.
You notice that?
So I'm now going to do...
This little error at the top also bothers me. But that's a...
I'll have a look at this. So this is cool. So go to the command line. So I do tick and pipeline logs. And look, here's all the runs.
Yeah.
So I can pick the one that started 30 seconds ago.
Nice. Wait,
Boom.
was that you?
Deployment created, deployment deleted.
No, really?
Yeah.
Hey, sweet. Nice.
It did take when you did it the first time. It just didn't update the GUI. Did you see there's two? It ran twice.
Yep. Nice.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So the thing I thought might be interesting to mention
Mhm.
is, you know how you do a kubectl get all, and it doesn't really
All the
get
time.
you all. It gets you a group of things, right? So
Mhm,
you do open up the command prompt.
Yeah. Right.
So kubectl get all. And so the reason it doesn't get you all of the things is it's actually all is a group with a list of things in it, right? So
Okay.
Kubernetes APIs can be grouped. So if you create a CRD or a set of CRDs, you can tell them what group they're in. And so anything at all that's been any resources at all that have been created through the Tekton, any of the Tekton CRDs, you can get by doing get Tekton. So there's a ton, right? But you can see it's grouped them out the same way getting all would. So it's got your pipeline runs, your pipeline. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. I actually discovered the CRD grouping like 2 weeks ago. Brian Lyles did a TGIK, and he ran it. He mentioned it during that, and I just remembered it and thought I would show that because that's a really useful thing.
It's a perfect. Yeah. No, this is a perfect opportunity because you don't have to worry about all the other trash. You're just looking at Tekton. Yeah, it's good. So I have some homework now, which I probably won't do, but I have some homework, which is we now have a working pipeline. We've walked through creating a example pipeline, but it actually does push to Docker Hub. It actually does build the container for us, which I'm still a little fuzzy on, but that's fine. And then it actually creates a deployment and then deletes the deployment.
Yep.
It's not 100% of what I was doing with my other container, but it's at least the primitives that if I can glue it together, in theory, that should happen. Now, before we end, I do have one really not odd question, but so we've had conversations in the past about one reason why you enjoy Tekton is that its configuration, it's a pipeline in code, right? Because now we have all these YAML files that tell us exactly how to build our pipeline. So if this Kubernetes cluster blew up tomorrow, as long as we had a way to extract those YAML files and Tekton to be reinstalled, everything, because it's desired state, will come right back. True?
Right.
What is your way of saving these YAML files? Because we've done a lot of editing on the actual YAML files, right? Like we do not have any way of doing this.
Yeah, so let's have a look at, so we have tasks and we have pipelines. Oop. I thought you could do, is it? Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
And then pipeline run.
Well, no, we don't want the runs, right? We want the resources, don't we?
We
want the
do and we don't.
Okay, tell me why.
Because I want at least a run that I know works to use as a basis to create the next run from. Right?
Okay.
Because if we do get pipeline run, this guy -o YAML. I mean, I guess there's not much to it right now,
Mhm.
but like, I don't want to have to remember that.
Yeah, me neither. Like I want to
Right.
take all this code and put it into a Git repo so I
Right.
never have to think about this again.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I'm getting with all this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the only thing that would change here would be the name,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
And I bet you I could even use probably this is where you might even reach for the Tekton command line. Pipeline run.
They spelled color wrong.
So that is how you spell color. Yeah, so back to this guy. So that's a start. And did we have get task resource? Pipeline resources.
Yeah, tasks, pipeline resources.
Right.
So that is the full ecosystem of this full path.
Now, usually I would prefer them to be in their own files. And obviously this is the full live object. So like, we'd get rid of this crap. I mean, I wouldn't usually do them live and then try and save them. But if you did, this is how you would save it back.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you like, I'm imagining some of our watchers eventually will have to go through this exercise and them being able to take the live working pipeline of something very basic is at least a template to work off of to build from.
Exactly. And I bet you there's probably someone's written a tool that would clean out statuses and, you know, all the bits that aren't actually, you don't want to keep. You know, like I don't want the last applied configuration. I don't want the creation timestamp, the generation, resource version, self-link UID. I don't want any of that crap.
So you're telling me we need to write a little Go app that says backup type pipelines?
No, I'm telling you, someone's probably already done it.
You'd be surprised.
So you basically go through, you clean that up.
If their docs are that bad.
Whoops. I don't want that there. Right. So basically, that's how I would do it. Stick it in the Git repo. Your secret is something you want to solve outside of Git, hopefully.
Yeah, of course.
But if nothing else, you'd have a README in the Git saying, here's how to create your secret. Now you've created secret. Run all this other stuff. So we probably want to do, we'll save that. But we might also want to include that service account.
LS, real quick. LS, I think we already have it in there. Oops, sorry.
Oop.
There you go. Docker creds. And then we create the secret.
Yeah, right. So we would want that the cluster role binding that we created to give it permission to kubectl. But we would also want to dumb down we wouldn't really want to give it cluster admin. So we'd want to give a very specific role and role binding versus a cluster admin and cluster admin role binding.
Well, right now we haven't been able to prove that this works with PVCs. And right now you need cluster admin to get PVCs, right?
No, I'm talking about we created a role binding for this guy to create
you double clicked on something none of us can see.
Huh. Yeah. So let me show you. K get cluster role binding.
Tekton cluster admin.
No. What? So service account. So we created a cluster role binding for this guy.
Again, we can't see what you're double clicking on.
Right here, create cluster role binding, my app admin. Right. So K get cluster role bindings, my app admin. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So all he needs is permission to create and destroy deployments.
Yes.
Whereas we just gave him cluster role bindings because we haven't got time to remember the syntax to do that properly. Yeah. So you wouldn't want to have this. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So there is we have gained enough of a base knowledge to get a simple pipeline working with Tekton, vanilla Tekton, on a Kubernetes cluster.
Yep.
And being able to push it actually to Docker Hub, just to prove that if you didn't see it, I will show it again. Docker Hub, JJ Asgar. We will have a myat. Sorry, give me a second. And I think this is a good place for us to end because we proved that everything comes together. What? Why don't you like me? There we go. My app. Pushed and is there. Cool. Paul, do you feel accomplished today?
Yeah, I feel like we've done pretty good. I was going to show you, I have a repo with a bunch of Tekton
Yeah, please, show.
pipelines. And I'm just trying to remember, I'm on the spot, so I can't remember what the thing is. So like,
is it the Tekton catalog?
Let me find it.
Is it? Are you showing the Tekton catalog because, you take credit for all those other people's works? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'll take credit.
Isn't that what open source is? Taking credit for someone else's work? Hey, no.
Okay. Sometimes.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Can I search inside my own?
I'm gonna reach out to the chat room or the chat, see if anyone else has any questions. Any questions we can answer? You don't feel like you learned. There we go.
All right, I just stuck a URL in chat, in the Tmux.
Yep. Okay. I took off the screen, but give me a second here.
No worries.
Screen share. Here. And that is this.
All right. So this is probably a fairly advanced use case. And this is actually using Tekton to drive the GCP operator to deploy VMs and other resources into Kubernetes. And so in my Helm chart, so if you go to charts and go to Opsman and go to templates, And then just go to, let me pick one, go to instance. So basically, you can see my API version and stuff is calling for the GCP operator.
API version.
I'm getting a kind of instance, and then I'm passing in a bunch of stuff. And so the GCP operator is cool because it gives you basically a one-to-one mapping to the GCP APIs. So you can see I'm pulling in stuff from, like, there's another resource, I'm creating networks and images and all of this. And so basically this all runs and lays down my infrastructure. So I get a bunch of networks, some VMs, etc., right? But they're not configured. And then if you go back up a couple of directories, all the way up to the main path, the first one, keep going. Under Tekton pipelines, I have a set of tasks and pipelines to then do the rest of my stuff. So if you go to tasks.
Task.
Yeah. And so if you go to like config opsman auth, so here I've got a set of steps that are grabbing environment variables that were set up by my Helm chart, and then running opsman to configure its authentication based on those settings, right? And
so wait, I don't actually know what opsman is. Do you mind
it's some pivotal software. You don't really need to know what it is, other than I'm like running opsman to configure some stuff, right?
Cool.
And so I've got a bunch of tasks, and then if you go to my task runner.
Task runner.
Sorry, actually go to task run. So you can see I've got, go to the update opsman cert. And so this runs, so I use Let's Encrypt, right? And opsman isn't smart enough to see that the cert has changed, because it just grabs the secret and dumps it in a file and then uses that, right? And so what this does is it simply runs that one task. And so that means when I'm using opsman and it's like, hey, your certificate's about to run out, I can do a quick run of this task run. And there's an argument you can give it that tells it to like give it a random name. And that way you can just run it, not worrying about there being a task that's already named that.
Wouldn't you want to put this on like a monthly cron or something like that, so then you don't even have to think about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be the better way to do it. But I just I have one set of infrastructure. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, sure.
And rarely does it last that long, right? Because I build and destroy this like on a weekly basis.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then if you go back to the Tekton pipeline, and then go to the pipeline run, install PKS. So this is where you can see I'm referencing because it's the pipeline. So I'm referencing the pipeline reference. So we'll look at that in a second. And then you specify things to add to the pod template. And so you can see I'm telling it to add all of these config maps and secrets as volumes. And that then allows my tasks to retrieve passwords and all those things that I've stuck in secrets.
Nice.
So if you now go to the pipeline, we'll have a quick look at the pipeline ref. Install PKS. So then here is like the pipeline. So you can see a spec, and I've got a list of tasks. And you can see they had that run after command. So that helps you set up ordering.
I learned about that one last week because we were trying to we brought up the pipeline, and everything was like parallel, and we're like, no, that's not right. It needs to be serial. And we learned about the run after.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a quick run through that stuff. But that is basically lets me, if you actually go back to the main repo, you roll down the docs. So you can see here, I'll take you through exactly what I do. If you go back to the top of the doc. So I spin up a one node GKE cluster, and I install the Google operator. And see this cluster role binding? That's that thing that you saw in the Tekton docs right at the start.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So scroll down. So I set up that one node GKE cluster, and I then use Helm to deploy the Google Cloud operator, of which there's actually 2 versions of. I actually wrote one like 18 months ago. Thankfully, Google has written one, and that does most of what I need. They're still missing a couple of things. So I actually pull in both my operator and their operator. And then I set up namespaces. I create secrets. And then I keep scrolling down. I install Cert Manager, external DNS.
Download GCC.
That's the Google Cloud operator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
we're reusing initials.
Of course we are. Of course we are.
Right.
Okay, and then you deploy your ops manager.
And I deploy my ops manager. So that's kind of the Helm chart, talking with the operators to deploy the base infrastructure. And then I have to wait until it's running to get IP addresses and stuff, right?
Makes sense.
Right. And then so I then update the Helm chart with those IP addresses to get it to create the external DNS entries to actually make everything accessible.
Nice.
And then I go ahead and deploy and run the Tekton stuff.
Nice.
So you can see there's a few secrets I create, but most of the config is actually being created in the Helm chart because a lot of it's environment dependent.
Okay.
And then once those extra bits are set, I then run it. And so I basically replaced a ton of Terraform with this, which I found with Terraform, it's great if there's a human running it, but trying to parse the output and work on what's wrong from like Jenkins or some sort of CI system is much harder. Whereas doing this, I felt it was just a lot more native to Kubernetes and easy to have a CI system run it. Nice. So yeah, that's kind of probably a more advanced use case of tying Tekton back up to doing something important.
You're using Tekton as a job runner, right? Like at the core, you're using Tekton as a programmatic way to do something for you in a repeatable fashion.
Yep, in a very strict, ordered, repeatable fashion.
Yeah, which is great in the grand scheme of things. As a system administrator, as someone who has to build infrastructure, that is something you have to do, and you have created a very, dare I say, cloud native way of making this happen. This is wonderful. This is quite good. But, I don't see any IBM in here.
Right?
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, if you had an operator for the IBM Cloud, we could do something like this.
We do.
Wow.
Yeah. Right here.
Awesome.
It's all right here. I have not sat down and played with it yet, but I did discover it maybe 3-4 weeks ago, halfway through quarantine time. because we had a conversation about it. And I'm like, there's got to be something out here for it. And
Right.
turns out it actually has a lot of support. We don't yell it from the mountaintops. So this could be something interesting just to play with, to figure out how to first, does it blend? Right?
Right.
Like, does it actually do what we expect it to? But it could be an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Man.
cool. All right. Well, I think I'm done. Are you
Oh
done?
yeah, I'm well and truly spent of energy and cares.
All right. Well, that's perfect. Well, for everyone who's stuck around, thank you so much. CZ, you want to say any goodbyes?
Goodbye.
Perfect. All right. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We're off.
Good job.